Hello and welcome again to another episode of Nerf News, your number one source for Nerf News. I'm your host Drac, and today we're talking about the Warden DB-8, or DB whatever it is. And before we jump into that, I just want to talk about the RoughCut. The RoughCut's an old school in-strike elite blaster. It's become kind of the standard in terms of shotgun style blasters. This is easily the best like double shot blaster of all time. It's a front loading shotgun. It costs about 20 bucks. It's pump action. It's got a great grip. Every prime gives you 2 shots off of a dual stage staggered trigger. I could talk ad nauseum about how much I like this thing. My buddy Ray in the SCNC is the veritable master of the RoughCut. Modded up, these guys are super duper nice. I've seen people make some pretty deep HVZ runs with the RoughCut. It's a great support or secondary on like a backstrap. Stellar blaster, good design, long top rail, very, very cool. It's been done 3 times, all at very similar price points. There's like a Modulus-esque RoughCut. There's this original OG RoughCut from the In-Strike Elite. And then there's, I believe, like a battle camo one, which is not my favorite look. I think there are actually, if you want to get super duper technical, 2 different colorings of Zombie Strike RoughCuts. So this is a good blaster. This is a solid base. But before we talk about the Warden, I want to give these guys kind of their day in the sun. So let's go over and talk about these. Just first off real quick, Dart Zone is doing their own leaks. Hopefully, since these guys are both coming out in August, we don't have a ton of details. It says here more details to come. We don't know everything about these, but coming out in August means that we should be able to get our hands on review models pretty soon for you guys, get some official price points. I would suspect this one coming in at Walmart is going to be anywhere from like 25, 18, or 20. Those are the usual Walmart Adventure Force primary class blaster price points. If you look at this thing clearly, it's just awesome. I mean, we've got 40 round capacity, 40 darts, a very gangster, like Tommy Gun-esque sort of design. It looks to be a pump action Springer, looks to have that 40 round drum, everything that we liked about the Magnus back in the day. Like, this is a sweet one. I could see this one being very effective for HVZ, very effective for super stock. If it mods up nicely, all the better. Like, it's advertising a high capacity super drum, tactical stock. If the drum is removable, this thing's a slam dunk home run. And if it comes in at 20 bucks or under, it's going to do very, very well, I imagine. It's just a cool offering. I want to get my hands on one. I like pump action Springers, not much else to say. And then they also sneak peeked this one for us. This is the Dart Zone Corner Fire. This one's coming to Target. And this one is a motorized dart blaster. So it's a pseudo-electronic revolver. We got a rev trigger. We've got a trigger. We've got a foregrip here, and then a mirror scope, which is pretty cool. Reminds me very much of the Rebel blaster, but the Rebel blaster had mirrors on the side, and you had to like flip it to get that mirror to angle the right way. This guy just looks to have mirrors kind of intrinsically in its scope so that you can look one way or look the other way. Pretty cool. Not sure what this capacity is. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4. Could be 8, could be 10. I'd put money on 8. I'd rather be disappointed, or I'd rather be satisfied than disappointed, I suppose. Sight up here looks pretty clean. Design Ergo makes this one look slightly less solid than the other one, but who knows? Dart Zone's been knocking it out of the park recently. I don't know how much this one's going to cost, but this one's coming out in August as well, so I imagine we'll hit them up around the same time, and this one is a Target exclusive. I wanted to get those out of the way just because it seems like as Nerf has been getting more and more redundant and expensive, Dart Zone is just killing it. Zuru's been killing it, offering like a lot of value for the money recently, but Dart Zone has been like really innovating in the space between the Pro line and both of these blasters being unique, cool offerings that I assume will be fairly priced. It's no longer Nerf or nothing, boys. I can tell you that much for certain. So here's the Warden DB-8. This is part of the Elite 2.0 line, and we're gonna get our little like diatribe out of the way first, and then we'll talk about the nice stuff. So first off, Elite 2.0 is just a huge step backwards for the brand, for Hasbro, for their design team. It's just sad. So a little bit of history. We used to use in-strike blasters, and then Elite came along, and Elite took a bunch of reverse plunger blasters, made them direct plunger. Took a bunch of really bad darts. You guys will never know the pain of streamlined darts, but some really bad darts. Gave us Elite darts, gave us the Elite standard, gave us 70 FPS, like boom, 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 strict upgrade. It was truly, in the definition of the word, Elite. There's nothing Elite about Elite 2.0. Modulus was already redundant. Battle Camo was already redundant. Hasbro tried innovating with their, at this point, failed line in Ultra, and they didn't learn their lesson. You can't just lie to us. You can't just make up numbers and expect me not to tell people that the numbers aren't real. So claiming ranges of up to 85 feet, slightly more reasonable than the range claims that they were giving for the Ultra darts. We'll get our hands on these really soon. We'll get you guys a full comprehensive review. We'll let you know if it's like hype or chump. We'll do everything from breaking them down and testing the springs against their predecessors, and there's no better isomer for that than the Warden DB-8. So my gripe isn't actually with this blaster. This is by far and above the best looking and honestly the best example of an Elite 2.0 blaster we've seen so far. I mean, this is a RoughCut, which is tried and true, really good stuff. Love the RoughCut. This paint job is growing on me, and it helps that in this one image we have the label to camera side with actual paint on the blaster and no warning label. So pretty much guaranteed you flip this thing over, you're going to lose all of this cool like knurling and hole aesthetic here to a bunch of warning labels. The NERF logo is going to be blued out. The Warden label's not going to be even legible because it'll be lost amongst all the other text. That said, the cutout's growing on me, the coloring is growing on me just a little bit. I think it helps to see it in the box with all of this kind of like digital techno stuff going on. Makes it feel like it maybe belongs on the game grid or something. Love the aggressive muzzle cuts here for the RoughCut. Love that it's a Smart AR blaster. Love that according to my pals over at Walmart, this bad boy is going to be 20 bucks. That's nice that Hasbro isn't fleecing us on the Elite 2.0 line, at least not this offering specifically, but hate that the darts are basically Elite darts, because they're Elite darts. Can't stand that the line is so far just redundant. You should have just continued it with Elite blasters, reskinned them, recolored them. Elite 2.0 gave me a lot of hope, and I guess that's like, it's not actually Hasbro's fault, boys. It's my fault for believing that Hasbro could give me something really cool right after Ultra. Like, I let myself build up my hopes when I started seeing Elite 2.0 on a bunch of different channels and vectors, and now it is exactly what it looks like. It's more of the same. I'm looking forward to the day that Hasbro decides to start innovating again. I imagine that Hyper and its itty bitty balls is going to be a piece of that. I'm excited for Hyper, and that's about it right now. Elite 2.0 looks to be heavily redundant, which does mean that it'll be mod friendly, hopefully. Nothing solvent welded inside, and we'll get all of those answers for you guys really soon. So in conclusion, that's the Elite 2.0 Warden. It's fairly priced. I think that it's the best looking Elite 2.0 blaster we've seen so far, and I don't have any overwhelming issues with the blaster itself. The marketing, as usual, is fallacious to the point where it's kind of questionable whether or not it's legal, but this one looks pretty good. And then this video is a little bit delayed. I meant to launch something over the weekend. This one should be going out Monday, hopefully Monday, if I get around to editing it. And I just wanted to say a few things real quick. We're not going to get super sappy or super cheesy. First off, I don't know how green screens work. That's a lot. I'm bad with green screens, so I apologize for the choppy, no forehead Drac sometimes, but these are quick and dirty because it's all about getting you the news as quickly as we possibly can. To the people who comment about how all of these leaks are fake, I just want to point out my track record. I've actually never given you guys a fake leak. I did have to Photoshop doctor this one up a bunch. This was heavily watermarked, so you can see in a couple of places that it's choppy, like this rail, over here in the grip, and you guys are going to be like, well, it's Photoshop, that means it's fake. Dude, there's a Walmart.com listing for this. You guys think that I'd clown you like that? Nah. And then On a slightly more serious note, I've had a pretty heavy weekend. I'm sure details about what's going on in our world will emerge over time, and if they don't, that's fine too. But when I say much love, nerf on, Drac out, those first two words are essential to me. I just want you guys to know that, like, I mean that from the bottom of my unbeating undead heart. Like, really, you are all precious, precious pieces of this island of misfit toys. The hobby that we all share and love. The current apocalypse at our gate is just some heavy stuff. It's affecting a lot of people's lives directly and indirectly. In a perfect world, we're gearing up. I'm actually in Pennsylvania right now, firing up the blister coils for a fun and friendly weekend of end war action. Obviously, that is not going to be the case. There's some other stuff that's going on, but just the weight of not being able to deliver that experience to you guys is, it's gonna be a rough week, boys. But that's Elite 2.0. Take care of each other. Be safe. Keep looking out for one another. The foam will fling soon. I've no doubt this too shall pass. Much love. Nerf on. Drac out.